if you talk about construction specifically, there is a good growth. And if you compare this with India, then I would say that the compensation is somewhere around, like for a fresher, is somewhere like 15 to 20 times than what we get in India.
Wow.
The first thing that every construction company follows here, and that is everybody goes home safe. So that is the biggest thing. And after that comes like making money, and after that comes the good quality of production and stuff.
Advice to students preparing to come to UMD generally and specifically to other masters and civil engineering related programs across the US, what should they do to maximize their chances of getting a scholarship and reducing their overall cost burden?
But if I talk about particularly UMD, then they have a lot of funding. So all the professors are always looking for somebody who can assist them.
While it's true that the payout is great, not all jobs in the US offer work-life balance. In today's episode, we are talking to a construction engineer working in Florida. Ashish Singhi completed his master's from University of Maryland. And since then, he has been building his career in the US brick by brick. Let's learn from him how to change the landscape of your career with a degree from abroad. Let's dive right in. I love data. It resolves misinformation. Let's talk to experts, analyze news, and smartly plan your study abroad journey. Hello aspirants, welcome to Videshi Chai.
Hi Ashish.
Hi Jen.
Welcome to Videshi Chai. I'm well. How are you doing?
Good too. Thank you.
Do you get time to cook at home at all, or do you rely primarily on outside food?
Actually, I rely on home cooked food, and I kind of cook almost every day at home. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You must have become quite the expert with all the practice.
Yeah, slowly. It just still a lot of improvements goes on every day, but yeah.
Yeah. Another cuisine that comes to mind, vegetarian and good, that I used to love when I used to stay in the US is Thai.
Uh-huh.
Is that
Yes,
something
it
you enjoy
is.
as well?
Yeah, actually, Thai food. So near my office where I work right now, there the nearest restaurant is a Thai restaurant. So there's again like it is nowadays it is like a go-to food if we want to eat outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, before we move forward, could you take maybe 1 minute and introduce yourself for the benefit of our viewers?
Yeah, sure. My name is Ashish, and educational background. I'm a civil engineer. I did my undergrad from in civil engineering from Indore, and then I moved to US for my masters, and I did my MS in project management. And after that, I have been working in construction company. Worked on various projects with like different fields. Like I have worked in marine construction. Right now, I'm working on an Air Force base with utility upgrades project, and I have worked on some of the roads and bridges development projects. So these are the work experience that I have, and in general, uh, I'm a big food lover, and I am a part-timer photographer by hobby.
Nice. Very cool. I know it's been quite several years since your master's degree. But do you remember how much it cost you to complete your master's from University of Maryland?
It costed me somewhere between $30,000 to $35,000 in terms of the education fees. And other than that, if we talk about the expenses, then it was another 20 to 25,000, I would say. So it's in total $40,000 to $60,000 overall.
How did you take a loan to fund that?
Yes, most of my funding came through uh, education loan, and other than that, yeah, my family also helped me with that.
Got it. And how long did it take you to repay the loan that you took?
Actually, it wasn't much. Like I would say, within 1 year of my full-time job, I was able to pay. But
Nice.
again, the other thing was like I tried to minimize my expenses in that duration because
Yeah.
I wanted to get rid of the loan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Of course. That's a smart thing to do.
yeah.
Right. What was the admission process like for you?
Admission process. First of all, if we say the admission process starts from GRE, then I would say that it was a very long process. First of all, it all started, like I said, I started preparing for GRE. I took GRE, then I took TOEFL, and then I started applying. And in started applying, it's just not a simple thing that you just sit down and start applying. But before that, you will have to reach out to several people
Yeah.
whom you need uh, to recommend yourself. So I had to reach out to some of my professors and the place where I worked full time there in India.
Yeah.
So they helped me very positively. They were like, "Yeah, you're going for a good thing, so we will recommend you for sure." So yeah, that was the thing. And then I got my letter of recommendations ready. Then statement of purpose was also a big thing, which is like which kind of plays a major role in your admission or decision. So that was the thing. And then I did my applications, and preparing documents was also a big step. And then yeah, after the admissions, you just get the admit, and then you show your funding, and then you get the I-20, and you
Yeah.
go into the visa process.
Yeah. So clearly a multi-step complex process. Which of these steps was one would you call the most challenging?
So actually, uh, like I suggest to everybody, and I feel that every step, whenever you are on that step, feels like this is the most challenging step, and after this, everything is going to be very easy. Uh, so
Yeah.
every different step, I would say, would be challenging for every different person. And for me, I think the last step before flying here, which was like the visa interview, I would say
Mm.
that was kind of like we feel like, okay, we have gone this far, and then now
Yeah.
it all depends on that visa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in terms of mental stress, I would say that was one of the challenging steps.
Yeah. It's a bit unfair, isn't it? It's like a 30
Yeah,
second interview and makes all the difference.
yes, that is true.
Advice to students preparing to come to UMD generally and specifically to other masters in civil engineering related programs across the US? What should they do to maximize their chances of getting a scholarship and reducing their overall cost burden?
So, I mean, like, try to stay ahead of yourself in at every step. Like, right after you made your decision, try to look at the curriculum, and then try to uh, reach out to professors, because people or professors here are very welcoming or very supportive. They help you whenever or wherever possible. So if you will talk to them that yeah, you're looking for scholarship or something, then they will either uh, give you something if they have directly, or else they will give you a direction where you can like work on something so that you can get help in getting scholarship. And
Yeah.
other than that, there are a lot of Indian organizations uh, give you scholarship if you are a real scholar, or if you are like very good in academics and stuff. So yeah, we can try there too.
And what about assistantships, teaching and research?
So about the assistantships, coming back on that answer about scholarship, I would say that more than scholarships, there is a good chance of getting assistantship, but it sometimes depends on the university too, like what kind of funding the university have. And if I talk about particularly UMD, then they have a lot of funding. So all the professors are always looking for somebody who can assist them. So teaching assistantship and graduate assistantship is something very much readily available for you in UMD. And in that case too, like I said earlier, you will have to just stay on top of your things and try to reach out to professors and then create a good resume and a good cover page and talk to them about the positions. And then there are jobs for portals for every university. So if you will look up there, then you might find some good options or chances. And also in assistantships too, a lot of times seniors also helps.
Got it. And when is the ideal time for students to reach out to professors, seniors, after they land on the campus or before or both?
So first thing should be to reach out to them right after you made your decision.
Hmm.
uh, and it is it is said that it's never too late. So a
Hmm.
lot of times you have a luck of getting it even after coming here. You might just schedule an appointment with professor, go to meet them in person, and then you might get something from there too. And a lot of times a lot of professors says that there is a prerequisite. If you want to do assistantship in my particular course, then you'll have to get done with some of the courses before joining me. So
Yeah.
a lot of them, what happens is, if in your first semester you take those courses, the required courses, and then in the second semester you can reach out to that professor and you can get the assistantship in second semester too.
Nice. Let me take you a few years back. What we don't see a lot of civil engineers doing their masters in the US. It's primarily analytics, software, tech. What motivated you to pursue a career in civil engineering, both in India and then onto the into the US as well?
Okay, so for me, going for civil engineering, opting for civil engineering was pretty much straightforward and very easy decision because my father is a civil engineer.
I
But
see.
yeah, but this does not mean that he pressurized me or he pushed me to get
Okay.
into civil engineering now.
Okay.
uh, but yeah, so my father is a civil engineer. From my childhood, when I was a kid, I always grew up seeing him working on drawings and then
Hmm.
going out on field and working on field. So I have always looked up to him, and I always wanted to be like him. And
Hmm.
even when I was kid, I used to like just try and have him take me out on field when I'm seeing the drawings, and then I can see those things building up. So a lot of times he took me whenever he thought that it is safe for me to go out there. He always took me out on field. So those were the places or things that happened or incidents that happened and developed my interest in civil engineering.
Yeah.
Then when I was in my undergrad, I kind of realized that uh, I want to stay somewhere between civil engineering and also I want to go into management. So
Hmm.
when I was graduating from undergrad, I had to make this decision if I want to go for MBA or if I want to go for construction or project management. And then I realized
Right.
that I want to stay in construction. So that's why I opted for construction or project management.
Got it. Yeah. So, Ashish, what are the career paths that a student has open to them after finishing their masters in a civil engineering field?
So there will be majorly two different paths. One will go towards engineering, and the other one will go towards construction side or yeah, so the construction side. So in engineering side, you go for the design or development of drawings, and then In construction side, you just use those drawings or the design, and then you build the thing in real time.
Got it. Yeah. And which path did you choose and why?
So I chose for the construction path, and like I said earlier, I always found it fascinating with my father, like developing stuff
Oh.
on field.
And what kind of growth have you witnessed as an individual, as a professional, by going to the US instead of building your career further in India?
Okay, so if you compare with India, then I would say that there is a significant growth and a very good exposure here because you just experience a good level of education with very good level of professors and very experienced professors we who did either if they work in construction they did a very good job here out on field with creating wonders. So like a very good exposure was one thing, and then I got
Mm.
to learn a lot of different things which were a little different than Indian style of teaching and Indian style of learning, and then a lot of different techniques that in India we could not experience or learn.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what would you say are, let's say, just diving a bit deeper into that, what would you say are some of the major differences between the construction management style in India and the US? Let's say if you were to list your maybe top three, top five.
So actually, it's been a while. One thing that I worked in
Yeah.
India in 2017.
Yeah.
So I expect a very big development in techniques
Sure.
there too.
Yeah.
But if I talk about here, then I would say that here people rely on labor less and machinery more.
Mm.
So that is one thing, and which kind of in terms of management, if I say, then it somewhere increase cost a little bit
Mm.
if you see the direct cost, but it it gives the schedule or the daily work goes very fast with machine use of machine. So
Mm.
somewhere if they finish the job early, then they save money. So instead of relying on manual labor, they more rely on machinery.
Yeah.
So that is one big thing. And it might be the case in India too, but
Yeah.
in India, I think, or what I have seen, that is labor is cheap than
Mm.
machinery. So
Right.
in India, people prefer to go for that labor approach. And other than that, yeah, if you talk about the office work, then I'm not too sure about how it works in India, but here it is pretty much smooth. Like if you want some information from designers, you get it straightforwardly and you can approach to them directly. So approachability is very good and easy here.
Mm. And when we were talking before the show, you mentioned that there's a huge difference in the safety standards between the two countries.
So here, if we talk about how would you rate or prioritize things in terms of like when you are in construction, how would you prioritize? What would be the first thing you think about or you want to have on field?
Mm.
So there is always a mantra and the first thing that every construction company follows here, and that is everybody goes home safe.
Mm.
So that is the biggest thing. And
Yeah.
after that comes like making money, and after that comes the good quality of production and stuff. But the first thing is everybody goes home safe.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is also a thing like the even a laborer who is working on field, if he sees something which is going unsafe, or even if my project director goes on field and he is not following proper PPE. And by PPE, I mean personal protective equipments like hard hat, glasses, safety vest, steel toe boots.
Right.
Even a laborer can stop him from entering the field. And he can
Mm.
directly say that you are not allowed without proper PPE, and that gives them stop work authority. Stop work
Yeah.
authority is a thing which is with everybody.
Yeah.
So that is a thing. So like I was telling you earlier, that safety is one of the biggest thing that they follow here, and quality or money comes after safety.
Yeah. Did you ever miss your PPEs when you went on the field? On the site, I
Uh,
should say.
so actually, it has happened with me few times that I just got out of my car and started
Yeah.
walking towards field because I did not I saw something which I wanted to really observe closely, and I forgot about either my hard hat or my glasses. So
Yeah.
somebody, even when you just got out of your car and you're going towards the field, then
Yeah.
from the field side or somewhere, they will just signal where is your hard hat, where are your glasses and stuff. So
Uh,
you just go back and grab them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. And we talked about your growth earlier in terms of your learnings. Talk about your growth in terms of your compensation a bit for our viewers, just to inspire them.
So there is a good growth. Like COVID also helped in that. One thing. And other than that, yeah, there is a good growth in compensation as well. When you are a fresher or you are just graduated from school, then the amount of compensation you get and the amount of compensation that I am getting right now is pretty good. But yeah, if you compare things with IT or other fields, any other field, then I will say that there is comparatively less growth. But
Mm.
yeah, in general, in if you talk about construction specifically, yeah, there is a good growth. And if you compare this with India, then I would say that the compensation is somewhere around, like for a fresher, is
Yeah.
somewhere 15 to 20 times than what we get in India.
Wow.
But then, if you consider other facts like purchasing power parity and all those things, then still, uh, there is a good growth, or I would say somewhere between 5 or 10 times if you consider all those
Yeah.
financial factors. Then yeah, so there's
Yeah.
a good growth.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's going to be an inspiration and a call to action to a lot of our viewers. Talk about what's the situation of the employment market in this construction realm, because there's a lot of downward pressure on the jobs available in the tech sector, in business analytics, development. What is the scenario in construction?
We have a lot of jobs openings and stuff. The only difficulty in construction is people ask for some experience
Mm.
before you join them. And by some experience, it does not mean that they ask for like 5 years or 10 years of experience for a
Mhm.
position of pressure. But some experience mean for myself, if I talk about my uh, early in career stage, then I started as an intern.
Yeah.
So when I started it as an intern, they never expected me to have any kind of experience from
Yeah.
United States. But yeah, there was an add-on that I had a very good experience from India. Like I did a full-time job there for a year also. And other than that, I did multiple internships there when I was a student.
Yeah.
So those things helped me a lot here in my first job hunt. And then when I got my internship, they themselves extended me an offer to work for co-op or like work part-time when I was in school. And
Got it.
after that, when I graduated, they directly gave me an offer
Very cool.
that yeah, so in that manner, it wasn't difficult at all. And even now, uh, like every other day or at least once in every week, I get uh, a LinkedIn message from some or the other recruiter that we are looking for a job and are you
Mm.
interested in moving. So yeah, the market is good.
Got it. And I'm sure being a senior of multiple years in the industry, you must be on the recruitment side of the table as well, directly or indirectly.
Yes, not directly though, but yeah, indirectly I am. Uh, because a lot of times people or companies ask us for recommendations, and then
Uh,
if like my boss who is like 20 25 no actually 30 plus years of experience, whenever he goes for uh, an interview, he just walks up to us like the young guys and check with us about some of the new things that they see in resume, or if they see some, like if they see my school in the resume, they will come talk to me. And then
yeah,
if there is any Indian profile, then a lot of times that they come and see like what kind of school is this in India, is this a good school, or what kind of certification or software they
yeah,
use, and what should we expect from these guys in interview. So yeah,
yeah.
that is how it goes.
Got it. Yeah. Are there specific parts in the US where the construction market is stronger than other parts, or in terms of job demand? And should that affect the student's choice in when deciding which university to go to?
So if you talk about the parts, then uh, both east and west side, like if we compare it with IT, or if we take example of IT, people go for Bay Area or the West Coast. So
Yeah.
in construction, I would say both side, east or west, both are good. Like I am in Florida right now, which is like southeast state,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot everywhere the growth is very good. So like any southern state or any eastern state or any western state will be good. But if you talk to me or if you ask me about like what would I suggest, so
Yeah.
in terms of like when we are a student, we look for cost of living and those things.
Sure.
So then I would suggest to go for East Coast more than West Coast, because living cost of living is a lot more expensive
Mm.
in West Coast. So yeah, like I was in East Coast and it was not too bad for me. So from my experience, I would suggest East Coast.
Got it.
Yeah,
When you spoke of career tracks after a master's in civil engineering, one of the
yeah.
career tracks that we are seeing a lot is somebody doing a urban planning kind of a job role. So is that an up and coming field? Is that something that young aspiring civil engineers can look forward to?
Uh, yes, actually. And when I was a student, I did not know much about urban planning and development. But if you talk about now, then yes, I see a lot of people going towards that, and a lot of companies looking for that, because there are a lot of projects in urban planning and development. Earlier,
Mm.
it was more like building construction, majorly, which was the most attractive field
Yeah,
for an aspiring civil engineer. And other than that, roads and bridges was one. And now people are learning a lot more about marine construction, or tunnel engineering and oceaneering and those things. But yeah, urban planning and development is also a very growing field back in India
yeah,
too, and in United States. Yeah, it is going on from earlier stage.
got it. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your day-to-day work in your current job role. What does a typical day look like? What do you do?
So my typical day right now, I'm working with the quality control department. So my typical day goes like From the start of my day, I would just spend few hours in office where I can just look at some of the things which I had to do, or if I had to continue from last night, like preparing all the reports and those things, and that gives time to field people to get started with their work, and then once they have started, I go out on field for a few hours before and after lunch, so that I can take a look at how they are working, and then after that coming back in office and then documenting those things. And if I have some conversations to do with my own quality control manager, or else if I have any other coordination with other field engineers or project engineer, then I try to do those things in office. So my typical day is like, I would say 60-40 somewhere, where 40% office, 60% field.
I see. Got it. And which part do you enjoy the more? Enjoy more, the office part or the field part?
I enjoy
I
the
think I
field
know the
part
answer to
more.
that. Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. Given your experience as a kid, yeah, of course.
Yeah. There are two things. If you talk about this, then one thing is like I see things building in front of me, all the
Yeah.
things happening in front of me, one. And then on field, you talk to different type of people and different level of people. Like you talk to a lot of carpenters, you talk to foremen, and you talk to the superintendents, and you get different type of learning from everybody. And then
Yeah.
like one other good thing about living in US is you get exposed to a diverse culture.
Mm.
So a lot of people talk about their culture. They want to know about Indian food and what would I recommend them to try and those things.
And how many hours of work do you typically put in a given week?
In a given week, we put in generally 50 hours or so, which is like, I think it'll sound a lot more
Yeah.
than usual. Uh, but like in construction, we go for like 10 hours work day for 5 days a week. So that is how it is. And but there is one thing that you have like 90% of the times you have fixed time of going in office and getting out of
Mm.
office. It's not like
Mm.
it is extended. It just get extended if you have
Yeah.
some deadline, which is I don't see construction going in a deadline driven way. Like we do not have
Yeah.
very small deadlines. Like we do
Mm.
have deadlines, but we do not
They're
have
far out in the
small
future.
deadlines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will have a schedule, like we develop a 90 days look ahead schedule where we are looking at 90 days from now, but we won't have like, okay, we won't have things like every week we need to achieve or touch this thing. Like there can be
Yeah.
days where you have zero production, and there can be
Mm.
days where you have more than 200% production. Yeah.
Yeah, and 10 hours per day obviously sounds a lot, but I'm guessing, and you can correct me, the benefit is that you get to leave your work at work, and when you get home, there's not a lot of work that you bring home with you, is which is different from the tech field.
Yes, I completely agree with that, because if I talk to my tech friends, then a lot of times at 9:30 at night or evening,
Yeah,
if I call them, okay, hi, hey, how are you? What are you doing and stuff? Then they will be like, yeah,
yeah,
we are still working. We are working from home, so we are still working.
yeah,
I got distracted with something else, so now I am at work and I have
yeah,
this deadline to catch up, and I want to report. I have to report this thing tomorrow morning,
yeah.
so I'll have to get it done. Like, but 99% of days, I will leave my work at work, and if there is something like where I got lazy, but I'll have to present it or submit it at the end of next morning.
Yeah.
Then I'll bring it home, or else no.
Very rare. Yeah, makes sense. Hey, we are at the end of the questions that we had for you. Would you please sum up the advice, or maybe something we might have missed? What advice would you give to students who are aspiring for a master's degree in civil engineering in the US? How should they prepare? What should they focus on? what should they do to ensure they get a placement soon after?
So thank you for asking that, Janet. In general, I give a lot of suggestions if people reach out to me with those things. First of all, it is the whole process, from the day you give or you think about coming here,
Yeah,
from that day to the day you graduate. It is a whole process, and not just the day you graduate, but you get a job is a very long, very big process, I would say. And it is a very difficult process too.
mm,
But at the end, you are going to enjoy it, one thing. And like I say, you are going to enjoy it. Please make sure that you enjoy it. And
yeah,
it is going to be very stressful because, like I said earlier in the initial stage of our interview, that every stage feels like this is the most challenging stage or step. And once we are past this, we are good. Then
mm,
you go to next stage and you feel the same thing again. That okay, yeah, this is again a very difficult step, but yeah, next step is going to be very easy. That's how it goes every time.
yeah,
Even every semester, you think like that, and after graduating, you'll be like, oh, I'm done with my graduation, so I'm good now. But next step comes is job search.
yeah.
Like, so there are a lot of things related to that, and like I mentioned, job search. So, like I said earlier, to try to stay on top of the game. Like, try to reach out to professors. And after coming here, try to work on your skills or building your skills in the first semester, so that you can start looking for internships later in the first semester or earlier in second semester, and then try and search for internship as soon as possible in your late first semester and early second semester. And if you'll end up with internship, that is a very good thing. Or else uh, work on skill building as much as you can throughout the 2 years, because you will have to search for full time again, and then also start concentrating on full time, and also try to build network as much
Mm,
as you can, because building network is always helpful. Seniors are always going to help you. So that is also a thing. Other than that, if you talk about funding, like I told you, a lot of options like scholarship, assistantship, or other things. But if you do not get these things, then too, please do not get demotivated with those, because we have a very good program in India where we can get education loan with very not cheap but very good interest rate. And I want to mention or thank Gyandan here for my own
mm,
thing. Like when I was looking for when I was doing my applications and stuff, I heard about Gyandan and they are doing some kind of session, and I attended that session. And there I got to know a lot of organizations or financial institutions who are always ready to give you student loan or education loan. And then again, Gyandan helped me to pass that first stage where they check your background. So if you are going through Gyandan, then you are one step ahead of others. So I thank Gyandan for that.
appreciate you saying
And
that. Yeah.
yeah, so that helped me a lot actually. And then other than that, yeah, so if you think that, okay, this is going to be, like I said, $60,000, $45,000 or whatever it is, so do not think it as it's a big mountain to climb. Take it step by step. And like I said, I was able to repay it within like 1 year or so. So that's how it is. And
Yeah.
that is one thing. And try to talk to your seniors as much as you can, because life gets very busy here. Like I said, I
Mm,
cook for myself.
yeah.
So you do not get time for a lot of things. So, but still try to socialize as much as you can, so that it is going to help you to survive in an alien country. one thing, and then it is going to help you a lot when you want to land a job or get a job. So yeah, these are most of the advices I would give to all the people who are trying to think of coming here.
Yeah. Hey, that's great advice. I'm sure the tips and tricks that and the general suggestions you have given are going to be super helpful for all the aspirants. Ashish, this was wonderful, insightful, and thanks a lot for making the time. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Janesh, for having me here, and I am very happy to share my experience and my thoughts with people who want to come here, because I always was looking for people who can suggest me these things. So I hope it helps to everybody.
Absolutely.
If you have any questions, share them with me in the comments. For next week, we have another interesting alumni profile lined up for you. Stay tuned and hit that bell icon to get notified. Stay informed, stay inspired.